Great to have you. We talked with the guys earlier, Tyrese and Caleb, and they talked about the excitement, the thought process, the tone in the locker room, one of just rich competition, and one of them which they said there's an edge to this group collectively. What do you think about the DNA of your 2024-25 team?
Well, the most important thing for me, coming off of the first 2 years being the head coach, is getting the most competitive group I possibly could get and being really connected. And I think that's the hardest thing to do now in college basketball. And in order to do that, you have to have the right people. A lot of hard conversations, but honest conversations in the spring. And I feel very confident we have the making of a group that can be that. We have a long way to go, but they've done their part so far, and we got to continue that.
How much did you build this team around Cooper Flagg when you knew you had him, and then the benefit is, so much happens in the portal? How much did you look at, okay, here's our kind of cornerstone guy. We know what he does well. We're going to have these pieces to fit around him.
Well, there's no question you feel you have a special guy in Cooper, and you want to compliment him as much as you can. And, the two things for a guy like him, or for anybody, but you need I felt we needed great physicality, which is, all right, Mason Gillis checks that box. Yeah. Malik Brown checks that box. Sion James checks that box. But also high feel, high IQ players that can shoot. And, really everybody on our roster can make a three. And so the fact you have to guard everybody on the floor is really important. But it's not just Cooper. It's, knowing you have Caleb and Tyrese coming back. Sion's been a great playmaker for us as well. You need more firepower, and our freshmen have that, but the transfers have really added a toughness and great shooting.
I have one complaint. That you didn't bring Cooper.
Of course, yeah.
I love you.
Look, I'm just
I love
surprised.
you, but I'd rather be talking to Cooper right now.
I'm surprised you only have one complaint. Knowing you, I'm waiting for the list of complaints. Am I right?
We're only a minute into the interview.
Great start there, Terrence. Terrence, take it away.
Hey, you had an Olympian on your team,
that's right.
And it's not Cooper.
Right.
Khaman Maluach. Tell us about him. He's kind of the unknown guy. We know the measurables. We know he played well at the Olympics. Give us a glimpse of what he's about to bring to your team.
Khaman is he's different than anybody I've coached because of how young he is in the game. He just started playing basketball a few years ago, and he's got he reminds me some of Mark Williams and Derek Lively. It's going to be somewhat of a process adjusting to the college game. I think being a big guy in college is the hardest transition of anything, even harder than a point guard, in my opinion. But he's got an incredible motor. His personality is contagious. He's talking all the time, and he's got a great skill set. He's just learning how to use it.
Sure.
But I've loved coaching him. Sky's the limit for him, man. I'm just telling you, sky's the limit, and he can really change our team with the way he can protect the rim. He's a lob threat, and then his skill will keep developing.
When I think about Tyrese Proctor and heading into the season and some of the expectations he had last year, I go back to Wendell Moore, and he was a guy that came in. I believe he was a McDonald's All-American, right? And had a couple years where he wasn't up to the level that you would expect of somebody that came in with the pedigree that he had as a recruit. But then third season, he's got some more talent around him. He kind of figures it out. He puts together, has an All-American, All-ACC caliber season, ends up finding a way to get to the NBA. I kind of see some parallels with those two guys. Am I off there?
No, you're actually spot on. I'm not surprised the worst question I've gotten so far is from Jeff. The rest of you guys, T.O., we're all on the same page, I feel like, except for Goodman, okay? But we've actually used Wendell, just to talk to Tyrese about, because Wendell became like a different guy. Even athletically, his junior year, he wasn't explosive or as explosive his first 2 years. Tyrese, if you saw him in practice, he's dunking like crazy. He's moving physically. He's much stronger. And then I just think obviously the great experiences he's had, but also the moments where you get knocked back, those, if you use them the right way, those can help you even more than those other ones. So I think Tyrese is hardened by it. He's hungry as could be, And I do feel he's primed for a big-time year.
One of the things that he told us here was that he's working with a mental coach to kind of deal with, I guess, some of like maybe the pressure, the level of expectation. I mean, when you go to Duke, you're living. It's not fishbowl's maybe the wrong word, but you're under the microscope, and everyone's paying attention. And he was a guy, and maybe Goodman's going to say it's my fault, but I said that I thought he could be a top 10 pick and be an All-American last season. How did he struggle with that? Is that kind of why he's gone that route?
I think that plays a small part for sure. I think all of us are human beings at the end of the day. So to act like you don't hear what people are saying about you, or to act like that's not part of the equation, I think that's what we have to battle the most. And now I'm thankful for what you guys do, because I think you guys bring excitement to our game. I love what you guys do. Part of it, too, can be, if I'm watching, though, it can be where you think, let's say he was watching you say that. You can feel like you are that, right? And so I think that's part of the challenge for any young player. And what Tyrese has done this year is just double down the work, double down the preparation, and being that, or being points, stats, draft pick, that comes with the approach you have with the preparation. And that's what I think he's learned. And I'm proud of him, because, look, it's easy. A lot of guys, after – the way the season ended, even though he had a good year, I think he'd be the first to say he wanted to have a better year. You can make excuses. You can point the finger. He's just doubled down and say, Coach, tell me what I need to do. I'm doing it. I'm all in. I'm putting in the work. And he's been great to coach. I mean, he's been awesome.
Jon, what's something, and I'm sure that there are several things, that you learn about Cooper Flagg when you're spending every day with him that you didn't know before you're spending every day with him?
Cooper, he's got a lot of humility. And watching him, when you watch him on the floor, you see a confidence, you see a chip that he plays with, which is, I love that too. And I've continued to learn that about him. But he genuinely wants to be coached on every little thing, and that you either have that or you don't. And what it's done, it just hasn't made him better. It's made our team better, because it sets the tone. If he's going to accept coaching to the highest degree, then everybody else is as well. So he's been terrific with that, man.
I tried to get some good dirt on you.
There is none.
No, there's some. There is some. Trust me, I know there's some.
He's got a good one.
But I went to like several people. I texted your dad, Jim.
Did he ignore you?
Nothing. No, he responded, but he wouldn't give me anything. So, give him credit. He stuck by you there. Chris Collins didn't give me much, other than to ask, who was the greatest player ever to come out of Glenbrook North.
Well, it just depends what you consider greatest. Would it be the only team to win a state championship, the all-time leading scorer, the all-time leader in assists, the all-time rebounds leader, or the guy who had more points in one singular game? It depends what you would value.
He said,
between the two.
Here's his ranking of top three. His ranking was Chris Collins 1, Jon Scheyer 2, Billy Donlin 3.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's more of a debate who's number 2, not who's number 1. But again, that's just me.
I got one other for you. Jason Tatum says to give back his watch that you stole from last year.
Steal is a stretch. All right, steal is a stretch. Again, it's a stretch. He left his watch. I put it on. I thought it looked good on me. I've never had a watch that nice before.
Yeah, I'm sure you haven't.
And I sent him a picture, and I try to make a deal to send it. I send it back.
You did send it back?
He's got his
it?
watch, yeah.
We're sure of this.
If we're trading messages with Jason, let's ask him who won the last game of one-on-one. Me or him. Let's ask him.
Is that
who
true?
won the last game of one-on-one.
We're going to find out if you're lying or not here.
Do it live. Do it now.
Jason Tatum, and Emil Jefferson one-on-one. All right, I want you to ask.
You played Tatum one-on-one, and you played Tatum one-on-one, you beat him.
I beat Jason, and I beat Emil one-on-one last summer.
Emil, fine. I'll give you Emil.
Emil's pretty good, though. Emil's
he is
pretty good.
But he's old like you.
Why would he lie?
Ask him and see what he says. If we're trading messages.
I do have a question about USA basketball from this summer. We were told that you played 2-on-2 pickleball. It was you and Ben McCollum. And we were told that Ben was
awful,
was kind of dragging you down a little bit, and that you were very, very nice in telling him that he was terrible.
I want to know, did Ben say this?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
so I can say, Ben was he was a rookie. He was a rookie. So what happened was we had a good experience playing together. We moved him to the JV court. Grant came to the varsity court, and me and Grant beat Tommy and Tommy Lloyd and Tooley, Jim Tooley.
How is Few? Have you played Few?
No, I haven't played him.
I heard
I heard he's really good.
I heard Few might be the best there is out
Tommy
there.
can play, man. I was impressed. Grant's big time. All right, Grant's
I feel
big
like
time.
anything Grant picks up is just
he carried me, to be honest. But
Grant's that good.
He's that good. Yeah, he was that good. Wow. Or maybe I'm just saying that because Ben was, down here. I'm not sure.
Big difference.
You had to compare him to.
Huge difference.
Hey, you guys been knocking on the door. Elite Eight last year. Duke is in San Antonio if what happens?
We got to rebound. I think for our team, even though, look, our smallest player is 6'4", besides Khaman, and Pat's out right now,
Sure.
Everybody else is 6'8" or below. So I think the collective responsibility to rebound is going to, obviously, look, it prevents them from scoring, but I think that's going to be the best part of our offense is rebounding and pushing. And so that's going to be a big thing for us. And then as quickly as we can define roles on our team, where it's where Khan knows what it's like to play with Tyrese, or Tyrese knows where to get Mason Gillis the ball, or vice versa. It's new. It just is. It's new. And so as quick as we can do that, I think it'll be really key.
Last year, rim protection was a little bit of an issue.
Right.
This year, not the case. Do we see this version of your Duke team kind of go back to the mid-2000s Duke's team where it's ball pressure up to half court because you have some of those safety valves back there in the back willing to erase everything around the rim? Because it looks like you have the pieces to really get up and pressure the basketball.
Yeah, we want to pressure. I think the difference is it's hard to pressure and contest everywhere when you have so much skill on the floor now where, look, when we played, you usually had two guys you could help off of, and you just had to protect the rim. But pressuring is important. Still protecting our rim is just as important. And so using that athleticism is key. And then letting Khaman and Malik and Cooper and those guys protect is going to be a great weapon to have.
Yep. Sorry I didn't ask about pickleball.
No, I only did that because Dagan texted me. I saw that pop up on my laptop. Con Knipple has been a guy that's probably gotten as much hype and buzz in the fall as
Did he say his name right?
He did.
Yes, I did. I got it right.
We're going to talk to him.
Has anybody not named Cooper Flagg? What have you seen from him from practice, and is that hype justified?
Con, it's one, he's had a terrific preseason. Hype is, I think, always, I'm not a big hype guy because let's do it in the games, right? But I think the biggest thing with Con is he has the habits. It's the hardest thing as a freshman to come in with the right habits, offensive footwork, defensive footwork, the speed, the physicality. He's been a natural. I think that's the best way I can put it. He's got toughness from within. He knows how to block out. He knows how to play through contact. And he can really shoot the ball, by the way. I've even talked about that. And so he's been off the charts. But, again, we haven't played one game yet. So let's let the hype happen after playing some games. And but he's been awesome.
It's more fun to hype him up.
I know it is.
Well, starting the hype. Somebody had to start the hype.
Yeah.
We're not in practice.
No, I know. I mean, look,
He's just played that well.
He just has played. Yeah. He's played consistently, and
it's tough with freshmen.
Everybody's had moments. Yeah. The hardest thing to do is do it every day, and that's what Con has done. He's just showing up every day, and he's been a really good player for us.
When you got this job, talking with people that were close around you and people in from your high school and whatnot, it was abundantly clear just how wired as a competitor you are. How do you balance wanting to go 40-0, which I know that you want to win every single game, with understanding that you do have freshmen who are going about the process of everything?
It's probably the toughest balance for me because I'm naturally very impatient. I'm an impatient person, but I also feel that's why I've been able to find success and to just not feel like I should have to wait, like just go for it and win. But at the same time, it is a process, And I don't want our guys just hanging their hat on winning or losing. I want to go 40-0. We want to win every game. But I want them controlling their effort every day, their competitiveness every day. And I think that all comes naturally. And so, again, I haven't mastered it by any means, but I do know we have to be patient, especially with our team. We have 2 of the youngest 5 players in college this year. And I'm betting on those guys, but we're going to go through some growing pains of time.
Yeah.